going to guess Greg Rice's age. I'm going to guess Greg Rice's age. I'm going to guess him to be about 35.
Nah. Nice try, man.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.
Here comes my favorite part. Oh, that's Aaron Rodgers' daddy right there.
Ooh. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, that intro's going to get old, but it's not now. Right now, it's still good. Hello, everyone. It's me. It is I, Main Event Mike, because this is the Main Event 365. And tonight we are doing a mock draft. We're joined from, as always, by the maestro, Russell Wayne, the producer, and Mr. Greg Rice out on the West Coast, the West Coast Stat Master. How are you guys tonight, guys?
We are wonderful. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for Greg, but he looks good anyway.
He looks good.
Thank you. And I feel good. I'm blessed.
Good, yes, because it's a good time to be a Detroit Lions fans, gentlemen. I mean, this team is on the up. They're the sexy pick all over town. Even in Vegas has us picked to win the North. So now we're going to see how we can add to this already stacked team. What we're thinking of the favorites to win the NFC North division. And tonight we're doing a mock draft. We've already got the wheels in motion. We're going to be picking for all the teams in the NFC North. And it's open mic to you guys out there in the gallery. If you're watching this at home or on the bus or in a taxi cab or wherever you're at, you can call us. You can put your comment in and let us know who we should pick, especially if you are a fan base member of one of the other teams in the NFC North, Bears, Vikings, or Packers. Please let us know who you think we should take in this mock draft. Otherwise, we will be forced to take our own picks for you. Russell Wayne, let us know where we're at in this draft. Bring everyone up to speed.
You know, this is fantastic. So when I went through at the beginning, I mocked us up to our pick, and CJ Stroud and Will Levis was on the board. Now, I do believe that if that were to happen, that the phone would be ringing off the hook and Brad Holmes would be open up for business. We did not do a trade yesterday, so I worked out a trade here, and the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock at number 6. They traded up. They gave us next year's 1, the following year's 3, and this year's 3 to move up 20 spots right here. And I would think that the pick would be CJ Stroud if they're going to trade all the way up. What do you guys think for our Minnesota Vikings at pick 6 after the trade?
Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I think in this hypothetical, I think CJ Stroud has got to be the pick at this point. I'll just come out up front and say it. I think the clock is ticking on Kirk Cousins. New regime, new head coach. Well, technically second year, but these weren't their guys. And so there's going to be a lot of heart checking and such And if you have a chance at what is my opinion the best quarterback on the board, and you trade up, I'm snatching C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, maybe the most NFL ready of all these quarterbacks when you factor in his size and all the intangibles that he has. He's a great teammate by all accounts. He's a gamer. But I find this interesting though in this particular draft that Bryce Young went first, and that leaves C.J. Stroud available. I think that even if it's Bryce Young that slips in this draft and in this scenario it's CJ Stroud, but even if it's Bryce Young, the phone will be ringing off the hook for Brad Holmes. And in this particular scenario, lo and behold, it is the Minnesota Vikings. They must be crazy to move up to number 6. Russ, what did the Lions get in this trade from Kwesi and the Vikings?
We got their pick 23. And we got their 3rd round pick for this year. I believe it's like 84. I'm not going to be able to see this until we get further into the draft. And we got 2025's 3rd round pick as well. So we got next year's 1st round pick and then 2025's 3rd round pick, this year's 3rd round pick. And they got to move up 20 spots and get their franchise quarterback.
And we are doing a 3-round mock today, so we'll be able to see those picks. But the real jewel in the trade, though, is next year's 1. Right?
Yes.
So if the Vikings take a fall, which a lot of people are expecting them to due to the mass exodus of players that they've had, I mean, the list of players the Vikings have lost is huge. They have a lot of holes to fill.
Yep.
And for them to give up all that draft capital to move up to number 6, I think it does have to be a quarterback. And it will be interesting when you push the button here, Russ, to see who it is the Vikings take. Now, if it's a quarterback –
we get to decide. We're going to take CJ Stroud for him or not. Like we get to decide.
That's right. That's right. I mean, but there's got to be a reason why the Vikings would move up this. And they sent a statement to Kirk Cousins when he offered to restructure his deal. And they said, no, we're good. They're going to play out that guaranteed contract that they've held onto for so long and move up to number 6 and take a quarterback. I think the pick is CJ Stroud as well.
There you go. All right, so the pick is in. And we got the Chicago Bears on the clock, and Ken Doby is in the comments. He says that trade isn't happening, and I didn't think that the Minnesota Vikings would let us move up 20 spots for a 3rd-round pick, so I absolutely think that trade could happen. So you're on the clock, though, Ken. So right now what we're looking at is – Devin Witherspoon, we got your tackle. We got both of those tackles are on the board. Oh no, Paris Johnson went the pick before. You don't get to pair up.
Will Levis goes 7 to the Raiders. Paris Johnson, the pick most people have mocked to the Bears, goes right in front of them. What a heartbreaker for the Bears.
Yeah.
And the best tackle in the draft goes off the board right in front of them to Atlanta. Now they're on the clock. Ken Doby, in 40 characters or less, tell us who should the Chicago Bears take at pick number 9?
Who do you think he says?
In one word.
That was the least amount of characters involved right there. We got to give it to him. I mean, he's in there. He's representing the Bears right now, so we're going to go ahead.
Bijan Mustard.
So before we take him, I jumped the gun right here at the beginning, Mike, and I'm really, really sorry about that. We didn't even really get to go over. Let's do a little review here of what's happened.
Thank you.
So I apologize for that. So Bryce Young goes number 1 to the Carolina Panthers. Will Anderson, this is a surprise, but it's not a surprise. The best defensive player on the board goes number 2 to the Houston Texans with no trade. Tyree Wilson, this guy's just kind of been popping up in the top 5 of a lot of mock drafts, goes number 3 to the Arizona Cardinals. The Indianapolis Colts and crazy man Irsay takes Anthony Richardson. And then Pete Carroll takes the troubled guy, Jalen Carter. I love that fit right there for Jalen Carter, arguably the best defensive player. We take CJ Stroud after the trade up. The Minnesota Vikings coming up and giving us some draft capital. Will Levis, which makes the 4th quarterback off the board, going number 7 to the Raiders. Paris Johnson Jr. breaking the hearts of all the Chicago Bears, going number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons. They're on the clock, and Ken Doby says,
Bear down, Doby.
The bear down.
It's Ken Bear down Doby.
Ken Bear down Doby takes
But
the
he spells that teddy bear arrow.
So you're going to see this, Ken. You're going to like this. The Chicago Bears with the 9th pick in the NFL draft select Bijan Robinson, halfback out of Texas. All right, we're at pick 15 right here. I don't know if Bill the Packer fan's still on there.
Green Bay's on the clock, but let's see who went after the 9th pick. So after Bijan, so the Eagles take Lucas Van Ness. Titans get on the clock, and they take Christian Gonzalez, the long corner. And then Houston back on the clock. They take Peter Skoronski. Now, I wanted to say something about Houston at number 2 taking Will Anderson in this draft. That's actually something that Greg Rice called out a long time ago. Right when DeMeco Ryans was hired, Greg Rice called that out and said, hey, don't be surprised if DeMeco Ryans takes a defensive player with that number 2 pick. There's plenty of quarterbacks that they can get later rounds. They have another pick in the 1st round. If one of these quarterbacks were to slide to 12, how smart will the Texans look? Dennis Capsley and the crew there, the GM in Houston, how smart will they look taking Will Anderson at 2 and still getting one of these top 4 quarterbacks at 12 if there's a quarterback slide like there usually is?
I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I spoke to Russ earlier. I look at this draft, Mike, as really there's 2 for sure blue chip collar guys in this draft, and that is Will Anderson and Bijan Robinson. Now they both got a couple little things that they could touch up on. Obviously, Bijan with the fumbling issues, and Will Anderson possibly put on a little bit more weight. But I love the Will Anderson there, and you know, you just look down the state and you see Dallas with Micah Parsons, and I can't help when I look at Will Anderson's gameplay style, what he brings, his versatility, just essentially everything he brings to the table. It would give the Texans their own version of Micah Parsons. And for me, if I'm Ryans and you guys can look at that Houston Texans depth chart, that secondary is actually really – I like their secondary. They are struggling and anemic up front, though. That front 7 needs an injection of talent. And what better way to get an injection of that talent than to draft Will Anderson at 2 and take a chance on, say, getting a guy at 12. Possibly even a Hendon Hooker or waiting for a Tanner McGee out of Stanford, possibly in the early 2nd round.
Either one of those guys might be an upgrade on Davis Mills, but they don't hate Davis Mills in Houston. They like him as a placeholder. So I don't think every mock in the world has Houston taken a quarterback at 2, but as we see by this computer simulation, not always probably, it's not a lock. So who's on the clock? So now we got Green Bay on the clock at 15.
Tried to give Bill enough time to come in here and make this pick. Hey, if you don't come in here, you're going to take Jake Moody at 15, kicker out of Michigan.
How about that, Russ? The Jets take Devin Witherspoon. What's that secondary looking like now on that defense of the Jets?
Ooh, with DJ Reed and Sauce.
I mean, look at that. That's it. That's pretty crazy right there.
Wow.
And the Patriots going wide receiver, that's a little
wow.
Out of the
I like Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Patriots. I love that pick, giving Mac Jones a real weapon all over the field.
Yes.
I love it. They lost Jacoby Myers to the Raiders, so I think that's a great pick as well. So who do we take, Green Bay Packer fans? Come on, John Dorn. Who do we take?
So it's funny. PFF says that Green Bay needs a quarterback, a wide receiver, tight end, defensive line, and safety. And actually, right here, the board's actually set up pretty good for them because here we are: defensive line, wide receiver, tight end, and safety are 4 of the 5 picks. So what do we do, guys? Green Bay.
For my money here, it's Dalton Kincaid to give Jordan Love a weapon. I think that they have, who do they have in tight end? They let Tanyan go to the Bears. Mercedes Lewis is wearing Chuck Taylors on the field.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're set at tight end. They really don't have a weapon. They love this Dalton Kincaid kid. They're in Green Bay. They've been scouting him. They had him in for visits. They met with him at the combine. Yeah. He is a total weapon. He's huge, and he's a pass catcher and a blocker. He can do it all. I like Dalton Kincaid for the Packers here, but if the Packers fans don't chime in the gallery here, I think we should give them Jake Moody. You know what? We want to relegate Jake Moody to kicking Lambeau.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy. Yeah.
Look, I agree with your take wholeheartedly, Mike. Like, a tight end seems so natural there. But I also look at early day 2 picks where they can still get one of these top tight end prospects. Shout out to my friend Nick Green from Frozen Tundra. Really, really high on this Kincaid kid. And I get it. It seems like such a natural fit. On the flip side of it, though, you guys, I'm looking at that safety room for the Packers, and like, what is going on? No Amos re-signing. Talking about putting Savage out there again. Didn't they move him to a slot last year because his play was so poor at safety? Who's the other kid? They got Nixon or Ford, or I don't know. But I look at that safety room.
A returner.
Thank you. And I look at that safety room, and I look at that secondary in general, and Rasul Douglas, Stokes, and Jair Alexander. Look, you don't want to have a leaky center field, man. And I'm really looking at Branch there as a real potential option. I know there might be some hesitation with taking another safety out of Roll Tide, considering the HaHa Clinton Dix failure thing. But Branch is on a totally different level than HaHa was. So,
well, Brian Branch, safety, the best safety in the draft by consensus from Alabama. They're not going to get. There's no other safeties really mentioned in the first round than Brian Branch. So let us know what you think. Do you agree with Greg Rice? And I like the pick there too, Brian Branch on defense. But wouldn't it be great, Greg? Wouldn't it be great if the Green Bay Packers took an offensive weapon with their first pick for Jordan Love, like Aaron Rodgers never could get him to do? And that same thinking that you're using here, they'll still get a good tight end in the later rounds. That's what they always do. They never go for that weapon in the first round.
Right.
And they always have second-tier guys, and they've got a top-tier quarterback throwing to second-tier guys. And then you've got guys like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers making superstars out of guys like Donald Driver and James Jones. And these guys who, they waited until later rounds to get them. So I like this. Let us know what you think. You like the tight end pick from Main Event, Mike, or do you like the safety pick from Brian Branch? Russ, what do you think here for the Packers?
Oh, well, I'm going to put a shout out to Jeremy Ballrick, who's out there, and he keeps writing awesome articles, and I just wanted to say hi. And I'm going to break the tie right here because I've actually heard Bill, the Packer fan, talking about Dalton Kincaid, how he would love to have him on the team. So I don't think that we're going to get too many complaints on that going Dalton Kincaid. If any Green Bay fans have any problems with, for the 15th pick in the NFL mock draft that means nothing, the Green Bay's Packers select Dalton Kincaid, tight end out of Utah.
All right. And now the Lions are on the clock at pick 18. But at 16, Miles Murphy, the edge from Clemson, goes to the Commanders. And then Joey Porter Jr. to the Steelers, his dad's team. Is there a better fit in this draft, Greg, than Joey Porter Jr. to the Steelers?
There really isn't. I could think of Tomlinson's nephew to the Chargers, possibly as a late day 2 pick. But Joey Porter Jr., it just feels so natural. The play style, everything he brings, that mantra, the culture. There really isn't a better fit.
No, and especially they've got a hole there left by Cam Sutton, who signed with the Lions. We'll have as much as we can. And that puts the Detroit Lions on the clock at pick 18. Any Lions fans out there? Let us know in the gallery who we should pick at 6. Let's take a look at the big board, Russ.
Yeah.
And now this is a collective here. We're all going to make this pick. Who should the Lions take with the way this board has fallen?
Well, I mean, from value standpoint, I can't believe by any stretch of the imagination why Quentin Johnston is still on the board. Just from a talent perspective alone, and we need a big X receiver that is signed a long term. I think Quentin Johnston is the slam dunk easy pick right here for the Lions.
I love this pick. What do you think about this pick, Greg?
I mean, look, Russell just touched on it. We need our X. I mean, you want that big guy, that contested catch guy. We got our speedster. We got our middle of the field guy in Amon-Ra. Speedster, obviously, in JMO. You go out there and you grab Johnston, man. This is just heaven. Look at this offense with ooh-wee.
So
All three of them on rookie deals.
So Mike,
go ahead.
So can you review, because Jeremy just asked, that was a question out there in the gallery. Who did we take first? Do you want to you want me to bring them up to speed, or
No, go ahead.
So we
Go back to one.
Yeah, I'm going to go all the way back up to one right here, Jeremy, and tell you what happened. Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, Anthony Richard, Jalen Carter, CJ Stroud was still on the board. So I looked at trades. We didn't take trades, so I allowed a trade down to 23 with the Minnesota Vikings. We cleaned their clocks like Brad Holmes would do to Quezzy every single time he takes him to the cleaner. So we did. We traded down. They took CJ Stroud. I don't think I'm going to get too many complaints out of Minnesota Viking fans for getting Kirk Cousins replacement in there. But no, we're actually making our first pick. So we're picking at 18 and 23 to bring you up to speed. So here we are.
I'm good with Quentin Johnston with this pick. I think it gives us a dangerous set of receivers in that receiver room. We are set for years to come at wide receiver. And we still got another pick in the first and 2 early picks in the second. So
going twice.
Life is good.
And for the 18th pick in the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Quentin Johnston, wide receiver, TCU. And actually, we're back on the clock, but let's look and see what happened in between. Cansey goes right after.
Yeah, but let's look at that. Quentin Johnston, we got value. He was the 10th overall prospect. Value, and we got him at 18. So that's draft value right there. And then Tampa Bay takes defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey. Seattle, Nolan Smith. Boy, do I love that pick.
Yeah.
If we'd have taken him at 18, that would have made me happy as well. But so far, Seattle's taken Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith for that Seattle defense coming off the double national championship Georgia Bulldog teams. The Miami Dolphins forfeited because their owner is a slime ball from Michigan. 21, the Chargers. They take, I don't know, because it's gone. Broderick Jones, tackle at 21. And then at 22, it is Jordan Addison, the wide receiver, goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, they have to take a wide receiver because they can't seem to get one in there. No offense to Rashad Bateman. So that puts us on the clock with the Detroit Lions at 23, the pick we got from the Vikings. What do you like here, Russell?
Well, I mean, we can go a variety of different ways. I love the way this board's lining up right here. We got cornerbacks. You know how I feel. I like Deonte Banks a lot. I mean, I'm not as big on Brian Barese. I'll never say his name right. I mean, Emmanuel Forbes, you liked him. And here's one that Will Rock likes from the Rock Down podcast. I think Mozzie Smith is in play. I think he's the perfect kind of defensive tackle for what we're doing at 20%.
Honestly, I'm okay with Brian Branch, but the defensive tackle is where I want to go with this pick. So if you're down,
Mozzie.
If you're down with Brian Bresee, I am too. But if you're down with Mozzie Smith, I'm down with that. As long as that's the position that we take here, because we did take a wide receiver with the first pick. So
sure. Yeah.
Had we addressed that defensive line with the first pick, then, all bets are off for this one. But in the first round, I feel like we got to get something at the defensive tackle position.
No, Nolan Smith is not there, and we don't want Barese either. So I think that we should do. I mean, I'm going to put my hat in here for using the Will Rock strategy from yesterday, that if we could trade down into the 20s, that we did take Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle from Michigan. I like that pick right there. That's my vote. Is Greg Rice gone?
And with the 23rd pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle, University of Michigan. Go Blue.
All right. So now we went a whole bunch. We got to kind of go through here. But so far we have Quentin Johnston and Mozzie Smith. Yeah, I like that. And there was Big Dan Davis did say take Cansey. We've taken Cansey. We love you, brother. I mean, I have no problem with the Cansey pick either.
We can't. He went right before us. He went 17. He went or did he go 19? He go after us.
Yeah, he did. We did have a shot to get him, but we have taken. We've done four. This is our fourth one of these, and Cansey just seems to be the popular pick right there. We just kind of want to show a little bit different of a look tonight, if you don't mind, right there. So let's kind of review that.
Brian Versey slipped all the way to Cincinnati at 28. Brian Branch goes to the Giants at 25. Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame, goes to Buffalo. And then you've got Osiris Torrance, the guard, to New Orleans. I really like that pick. And then the Eagles, with their second pick in the first round, take Cam Smith, the cornerback from South Carolina. And then with the final pick in the first round, it is wide receiver Zay Flowers to Kansas City. I don't think Kansas City goes with that pick in real life because the guy's 5'9". I think he's too small for what they've already got Sky Moore out there. I don't think he's a good fit. They're looking for a big, long receiver to replace Juju Smith-Schuster. So now we're back. Now we're into the second round. Is that right?
Yep. So there's Anton Harrison. We got edge players going.
Kaylee Ringo.
Emmanuel Forbes.
We both like him.
Off the board. Oh, Jack Campbell off the board. Oh gosh, all of the fun guys that we wanted.
Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best running teams. Atlanta takes a running back, Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama. That's good. That puts the Green Bay Packers on the clock now at 45. And what did we give the Packers? A tight end, right?
We gave them Dalton Kincaid. So that one is scratched off the board. So we're looking at wide receiver, defensive line, safety. And see what
I think they need help on the defensive line because of Rashawn Gary coming off an injury, and they're thin on the offensive line. They're not deep. They definitely need to add some defensive line help. So I would look for defensive tackle or even an edge rusher to go opposite Rashawn Gary. Siaka Ika.
Yeah, I was doing some research on this guy. This is one of the guys that came up as
Keanu Benton.
Yeah, from Wisconsin. He's got just the prototypical. Wisconsin doesn't know how to do anything other than be able to, produce, linemen and linebackers. I like that pick for them right there as a possibility. And there are a couple edge rushers here. Pualatu. Gosh.
Pualatu.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm feeling Benton on this pick for them. Is there anybody out in Green Bay land that wants to take a different person right here? But I like that. I like that for them. You're filling a need, and you're actually getting value.
And there's Luke Musgrave from Oregon State sitting there, and Greg may have been right. Dalton Kincaid was a bit of a reach because you could have got Luke Musgrave and probably a good defensive tackle in the first round.
And they got a good defensive tackle in the second round, and now the Detroit Lions is on.
And then the New England Patriots take Hendon Hooker. Exactly who I wanted the Lions to take here at 48 is off the board. Patriots, I just don't see that happening.
You're hurting now.
And then
Oh,
John Michael Schmidt's the best center in the draft. Hands down, consensus best center in the draft from the University of Minnesota goes to the Washington Commanders. So the Lions, we've given them Quentin Johnston, right?
yep.
And we've given them Mozzie Smith from Detroit. What position are we looking at here? I like linebacker Drew Sanders. Is he still there?
Yes.
I love that pick.
Oh, yeah, I feel you right there. You don't have to say anything else. Thank you very much.
That guy
That
is
felt
a
like
tackling
it's
machine.
easy. Drew Sanders. Let's take a look at him. He's a tackling machine. He's 6'4", 235 pounds, 11 sacks, and 39 pressures from a season ago. And that's why he's going to be coveted. And he is coveted. What's his role? Blitz heavy linebacker. Gosh. That's just it feels too good to be true right there. I love it. Drew.
Yeah.
So
and one thing some people don't know about that guy, he actually started out with a scholarship to Alabama. He transferred to Arkansas. He was an edge rusher at Alabama, and they converted him to an outside linebacker in Arkansas. So definitely a blue chip recruit coming out of high school. So Arkansas, of course, an SEC team, though not nearly as high profile as some others. But I love that pick. Drew Sanders, linebacker to the Detroit Lions at 48. At 49, the best linebacker in the draft, Trenton Simpson. Now, I would have liked that pick also, right?
Yeah.
Clemson linebacker.
Yeah, I think to me, he's too small. I like Drew Sanders. I stand by the Drew Sanders pick.
And Tampa Bay still addressing the lines in this draft. Take Steve Avila, guard from TCU.
Yep, that's a good pick.
Cody Mock, probably the most versatile offensive tackle in the entire draft. Cody Mock at the Senior Bowl played all 5 positions well. Center, guard, tackle on both sides of the ball over a 2-day span. He impressed the coaches so much. No one even knew who he was coming into this draft, but at Senior Bowl, he was a Senior Bowl star. Cody Mock. And he goes to the Dolphins. And then what do we got there? A name we can't pronounce goes to Seattle, and that puts Chicago Bears on the clock. Who have we given the Bears so far?
Oh, let's look back. So Ken Doby
took Bijan.
Took Bijan Robinson, and then we're actually at there. That was it. So here we are at their 2nd round pick. He's actually in the comments right now. Ken says, look at the O-line. So I brought up, Matthew Bergeron. I think that he would be a good pick for them right here. I don't know if he has any. Yeah. Ken's like, take Bergeron. Pick Bergeron. 6'5", 318. I mean, you can't go wrong right there.
318.
That's
offensive tackle from Syracuse.
Goes to the Chicago
Any other Bear fans
Bears.
out there? Any other Bear fans out there? One thing I've learned over the last year, Russell Wayne, is it takes 2 Bear fans to equal 1 regular fan. So if we can get another Bear fan besides Ken Bear Down Doby to chime in with a pick here, we will actually have 2/3 of an actual pick.
Yeah. So we're on the clock again with our second round pick, and we
took a linebacker, we took a wide receiver, and we took a defensive tackle. Let's do a guard.
So we're looking.
You like that? or should we address the secondary? Let's put a stud in the secondary, either a safety or a corner.
So I'm just looking where we can get value right here.
Jamie Robinson. Oh, I love that guy.
Tyreek Stevenson is still available from Miami.
That's because it's 2nd round. It's always in the 3rd we want to get him, and we never can. But if we reach in the 2nd, I mean, his value is at 46. So we're getting a little bit of value there.
A little bit.
He's 6 foot. He's got good size. He's not really tall, but he's got good size. At 6 foot for a corner.
He's not versatile though. I'm not sold there. Let's look at Julius Brents. He's the next rated one. 6'3". There we go. There's the wingspan. He also brings some legit burst for cornerbacks.
His rank is 51, and we are picking where with this pick?
55.
So we're getting 4 spots of value out of him, so that's good too.
And he's long.
But honestly, I really like the safeties that we just seen there. Where'd he go?
Antonio Johnson?
No, can you highlight safeties?
All right, so we're going to look at safeties, and here we go.
Jamie Robinson, safety from Florida State, is a star. This guy is, I don't know, they got him ranked 75th. As far as safety goes, from the chatter I've been hearing, some of the tape that I watched, some highlight reels of him, his draft tape, man, this kid's a ball hawk. But, it's a group decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're looking at some value here at
I
the
think
cornerback position.
I'm just not as familiar with some of these prospects as I am with him because I did some research on him. So, I mean, let's look at value, right? What do you think for position? And then we pick the best available athlete.
I mean, if I'm thinking like Brad Holmes thinks, Brad Holmes likes these guys with that he's drafting with some physical abilities here. I like Julius Brents. It's been, I mean, he's got long size. You can put him in the slot. You can put him in the big slot.
Kansas
I mean,
State,
if he's
yeah.
6'3", you can cover tight ends.
Yeah.
And
let me tell you something. There was an interview with Quentin Johnson with SiriusXM NFL Radio with Jim Miller and Pat Kerwin. And they interviewed Quentin Johnson, and they asked him, who do you hate facing? Who was the worst? Oh, that guy for Kansas State. That guy for Kansas State, 23. He's big. He's in my hip pocket every game, every down, every possession. Quentin Johnson said Julius Brents was the toughest cover he ever had in college. I love this pick if that's the pick you're going with, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, I like it for the prototypical side. We got a lot of short.
Oh, he's beyond prototypical. He's tall. Yeah. He's super tall for a CB, and that's what I want. I want the long one. I want Christian Gonzalez, but he's already gone, of course. This guy might be the next best thing. Julius Brents from Kansas State.
All right.
And let's see who picked after us.
All right. So here we go. So we got the Chicago Bears on the clock. After us, the tight end Luke Musgrave, then edge Isaiah Foskey, another edge Keon White, and there goes Greg's guy,
Charbonnet, the UCLA running back to Buffalo. I love that fit for them.
So we got the Bears on the clock. The Bears. So they need a cornerback, and I think that you're either looking at Hodges Tomlinson or Tyreek Stevenson.
Well, because we know we want Tyreek Stevenson in the 3rd round, let's give him Hodges Tomlinson.
I like that.
Unless there's a Bear fan out there that wants to chime in. And before we make this pick, I want to remind everyone that we will be broadcasting live on Thursday, April the 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the main event draft special. It's our 2nd annual. We're going to be giving you the picks as they come off the board, team by team. We're going to have special guests, analysis, a few jokes. There might even be some music involved. Thursday, April 27th at 7 p.m. Be sure to check out our live draft special. It's our biggest event of the year.
And we like your likes too. When you like it, or you can put a thumbs down. Do they have thumbs downs in there? Yeah, because all of our takes are bad. So that's okay though. They're back on the clock. These Bears, they got picks everywhere. So we give them Hodges Tomlinson, DB help at 61. They're back on the clock at 64. And I think they go center. I like Joe Tippmann from Wisconsin.
They definitely need offensive linemen. They can't get enough. Joe Tippmann is 52, so they're getting value there. I like it.
And he's multifaceted too. I did when I read on him, he can play guard or guard.
Let's see who else came off the board.
Ken's mad at me for taking the guard. are taking the center.
Oh, the Rams get Jordan Booty. Interesting. Siaka Ika goes. Tyreek Stevenson does go to the Texans. So again, we're not able to get him in the third round.
We were trying.
Right.
We were going for it.
Yep.
Rasheed
All right. So
Rice.
that puts the Packers on the clock at 78. And what have we given the Packers so far? We gave them a defensive tackle or an edge rusher. We gave them a tight end.
Defensive tackle, tight end, and they haven't picked.
Right. This is their third pick. Defensive tackle, tight end. Now we got to get them some help in the secondary.
All right. So what do we have? Garrett Williams is sitting right there. Yeah, Michigan boy, DJ Turner, still on the clock.
DJ Turner's a good fit there in Green Bay. I like that pick for the Packers. It's 67, so they're getting some value, his rank, as opposed to the pick at 78.
Hey, Ken's like, nope. Why didn't you take the ones that Ken's just out here complaining? We should send him a link so he can come in and.
With all the picks the Bears had, we should have had Ken in here in the first place. All right, let's give the Packers DJ Turner.
Let's get this over with. Let's give Packers. What do they need? They need a wide receiver. They need a.
We gave them a tight end and a defensive lineman, so let's give them DJ Turner, cornerback.
All right, there we go. We'll give him the Michigan guy. So here we are at 81 with us. What are we going to do here? How about we take there's the North Carolina State guard right there. He's not supposed to be picked to 156.
And Jamie Robinson's still on the board.
Oh, you like that?
I do like that guy.
All right, there we go. We'll take Jamie Robinson. See, we don't know as much about these mid-round guys.
And now we're back on the clock.
Yep, that was with the trade.
So at 87, we're back on the clock. Tank Bigsby, halfback.
There we go. I like that. There we go. And there we go. Let's see what they're going to give us. All of these different grades. Let's see what they gave us for. I guess I can't really give us a grade, can they? Full results.
That's because we took multiple teams.
I don't know. I mean, I wonder.
Well, that was three rounds though, right?
It was. Download image. Okay, let's see if I can. Maybe I can.
Very interesting with Bryce Young going number 1 to Carolina, and CJ Stroud slipping and being available there at 6. If that really were to happen, Russ, would you like the Lions to take CJ Stroud at 6?
I mean, I definitely think it would be on the board for sure.
I said, would you like it?
Would I like it? No, I don't. No, I wouldn't like it. I don't like the idea of taking the quarterbacks in the first round as nice as it is. I mean, I can take my mind and put my mind around why they would do it, and I wouldn't be upset. But if it was me personally, no, I want to see them continue to get talent on the defensive side of the ball, or just out of this world talent on the offensive side of the ball, like what we did in the first rounds. So,
right,
Ken. Okay, let's address this right here, since Ken and I, since we're all having a conversation here. Ken says that the Texans not taking a quarterback seems wrong. So why don't you address that, because you were kind of touching on it when you were talking about what Greg had said.
Because they hired DeMeco Ryans and they don't hate Davis Mills in Houston. And a player like Will Anderson is generational. He's a game wrecker. And you look at a guy like DeMeco Ryans, who played the position, knows what he's looking at, it's very feasible that he's not going to pass up an opportunity to get a generational player like Will Anderson. This is the next Myles Garrett by all accounts, right? And if you have a chance to get Myles Garrett, don't you do that? Don't you do that? Don't you do that and ride Davis Mills and maybe get Hendon Hooker at the 12th pick?
Yeah.
Or you might even get one of these quarterbacks to slide down. They have another pick at 12. They have a high second-round pick. Why not take Will Anderson at 2? So I understand that it this is just one of a million scenarios. More than likely,
and we didn't. Hey, and Ken,
more than likely, the Texans are going to take a quarterback at 2.
Right. Well, Ken, here's the thing: we didn't pick it. The only ones that we were picking were the people from the NFC North. Everything else was computer pick. So when we were sitting there, I didn't want to do draft trades, but if CJ Stroud and Will Levis are on the board at 6, somebody's going to trade up, or the Lions are going to select CJ Stroud. So I decided to take the trade route today. And the only way that trade route really is going to happen is if something like this happens, to where, Tyree Wilson and Will Anderson and Jalen Carter all go before our pick. So that makes it a valuable pick, don't you think? When you got 2 of the top quarterbacks on the board, I mean, that's why you got all those picks. Fire the computer. So what, Ken? But and you obviously wouldn't feel alone in this, but you're saying that Houston just taking the best defensive player on the board instead of a quarterback is a mistake? I mean, and then they come and then they double back and then they get what they get in the offensive lineman, right? Didn't they come back and get an offensive lineman?
No, I think we addressed their defense because Greg Rice pointed out how terrible. Didn't they take Kalijah Kancey?
What did they? I'm looking. Let me see here. No.
What they take at 12?
No, they put Skoronski. They took tackle.
A guard. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and there are people that believe in Davis Mills. I mean, just because the people from the outside don't believe in Mills, it doesn't mean that they're not okay with building the rest of their team first. It's what the Lions just did. No, nobody believed in Goff, no matter what anybody wants to say now. Oh no, they knew what they were doing from the beginning. Nobody said that at the beginning. Zero people said that. He was a bridge. He was a bridge. He's dog shit. Oh my God, I can't believe we have to deal with Goff. That was what everybody said. Holy crap, our team is awful. We need to get rid of Goff now. Now, trade him now. Get rid of him. Just cut him. Like that's what the feeling was.
Right
at the beginning, and I think that's where they're at here with Houston. Actually, it's not even as bad as that. They actually kind of believe in the guy.
I do, and in this mock, the Lions took Quentin Johnson at or was it the mock before this? We took Quentin Johnson.
We got Quentin Johnson at 18, and then Mozzie Smith
at 23.
At 23, yeah.
I would love that scenario. Wouldn't you love that scenario? Mozzie Smith is strong. I think he repped 33 in the bench.
No, we wouldn't love that scenario. We would love the scenario of Brad Holmes getting the extra first-round pick and the extra third-round pick. We definitely would love that scenario. And then having the constellation prize of taking maybe what you don't want in a wide receiver in the first pick, but you're getting – I mean, if Jackson Smith-Njigba is the first receiver taken, then yeah, maybe he could fall. But I don't know. I liked this draft because it kind of shows how crazy it can be.
With Quentin Johnson's length, though, and his speed, I mean, he reminds me of Megatron. And I think if you inject him in, I mean, this offense is already ranked top 5. The only thing we were missing was DJ Chark for a few games. Otherwise, we are steamrolling into the playoffs, I believe, if we did a better job on defense. Obviously, it was the defense that kept us out, but it's sexy, right? It's sexy to get a wide receiver and a skill position. The defense is what needs the most work, but Brad Holmes has done such a great job in the offseason addressing the secondary. As long as we address the defensive line with one of those 2 picks, I feel like that other pick is a freebie. It's house money. It's the Rams pick. Take a quarterback, man. Take a wide receiver. Take Bijan Robinson. Do something.
I agree with that, to a point. And, really with these mock draft exercises, it's really funny. It really just gives us an excuse to come on here and talk about, all of these different prospects, because none of them are going to go to the places that we said they were going to go to. And,
we actually picked 8 right last year.
Yeah, we got 8 right in the first round last year. And when we do our official one, we should do an official one that is like, okay, this is the one that, we're going to be serious. Like tonight, I really just wanted to show a different look because I saw the trade that was there and I wanted to show a different trade look. And if we did trade down into the 20s, I like the idea of what Will Rock was talking about and taking Mozzie Smith, but not so high. Let's get a trade down and then possibly go after him.
Can you see that, Russ? Look at all the notes I've been taking about these prospects. I've been taking a ton of notes, looking into these prospects and really trying to break it down, who's a good fit for the Lions and these different scenarios of with the picks that they have. Brad Holmes was not mincing his words. We want to make 2 impact players. That's his goal. Out of all these picks, his goal is to get 2 impact players. With all the draft capital that he has, he absolutely could package some of them up and move up. We could see the Lions picking at 6, 10, 12, 11. We could see them moving up, getting 2 picks in the top 15 to really get those impact players that he wants, because he's put himself in position to do that if he wants to. I guarantee you New England is ready to trade back at 14. They're at 14, my friend. They are ready to trade back. They would love to trade back 4 spots and take the 18th pick and give us, the 14th pick and gain another one in the second round. Get another second rounder out of that. That luxury second rounder we have means we can move up to 14 in New England and get that impact player if it's there. Because inevitably there's always going to be a slide. A quarterback's going to slide. A defensive player we didn't expect to slide is going to slide. Right. This year, it might be Jalen Carter because of the off-field issues. It might be Will Levis because he's afraid of dairy products. It might be Anthony Richardson because he's just too raw, right? We know someone's going to slide. And always it's one of those guys that slides. Somebody further on in the draft thought there's no way we're going to be able to get this guy. And when that guy starts to slide and gets closer to him, they get jerky, they get nervous, and they're like, hey, we can move up. All we got to do is give up that other 3rd rounder we got. And you move up, and a team like the Lions and Brad Holmes could capitalize on that, especially when we're talking about a quarterback.
Right. Ken says that's any GM's goal is to get 2 impact players. But I think what he's talking about is one of the top players in the draft. Like he might make a move to where he does, he picks at 10. And like you said, he might move back up into the top 10 and get 2 of them high-end players.
Oh, yeah, Ken Dobie, is that right? That's all GMs. Yeah, is that Ryan Pohl's goal? Is that his goal, to get 2 impact players? Because his team is so deep that he can afford to just package up teams to get 2 impact players? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think when I say they're looking for 2 impact players, you know exactly what I mean. They're looking for 2 high-profile, just like last year. Right. They got Aiden Hutchinson, and they moved up. Yep. They made a move in the draft, and they got Jameson Williams.
Right.
Whether that was a big impact player or not remains to be seen. But he made that move, and I don't think that's any GM's goal is to get 2 impact players. And they want to get more than that.
Oh my
right?
God. Mike says you got 3 last year. No, you got 3. You got 2 good players and 1 impact player. So I think that we're thinking of different impact than that.
Was Kirby Joseph an impact player? Kirby Joseph?
We got more impact players than the Bears did last year for sure.
Rodrigo, not an impact player, maybe, but he made an impact.
Well, in Ken's mind, Rodriguez would absolutely be an impact player because he started. Because he's calling Braxton Jones an impact player, and he didn't even get full-time starting duty till the end, towards the end of the year. So,
but I'll show you my new jersey. Can I show you my new jersey? I got an Alex Anzalone, number 34.
Yeah. You hope Braxton Jones is an impact player. I'll give you Brisker. Braxton Jones, you got a starter quality player. He's good, but he's not. I mean, he's okay. He's a good player. He could get better. He could be really, really good. But they're impact players are players that actually came out and like dominated their position. Right.
Are we
Right
giving
from
a
the
jersey
get-go.
away anytime soon?
Yeah, we're giving a jersey away on April 27th.
On April 27th, during the live draft show, we're going to be giving
Yes,
a
we
jersey
are.
away. And tell our viewers, Russ, what they got to do to get into that drawing to win that jersey. They could win an Alex Anzalone jersey like mine, or they could win any number or team that they want. Isn't that right?
Yes, they can. Ken Doby can get a Braxton Jones jersey.
Yeah. Right on. Well, hey, this has been a lot of fun, Russ, and thanks everyone for watching and putting in your comments. Thank you, Ken Doby. Appreciate it as always, Sensei. And for the maestro, the producer, Mr. Russell Wayne, I am Main Event Mike. Thanks everyone for watching. God bless each and every one of you. Peace out.
You notice how I can cut right to that interception now? I know right where it's at. Ow! Tight end 1.